Welcome, friends. In this session, we will talk about returns under GST. It's a very relevant topic from GST point of view because return are the first document where a taxable person or assessee come into contact with GST authorities as far as his business is concerned. After getting registration, if first document goes to department regarding this business, that is return. So if I take you to the CGST Act provisions, Section 37. Section 37 of CGST Act talk about furnishing details of outward supplies. In any business, when we do any business, either we supply goods or we provide services. So if I manufacture goods and then sell it in the open market through my marketing network. Or if I am a trader, I purchase goods from open market and sell these products as it is in the open market. So in both the cases, if I am a manufacturer or I am a trader, when I sell my goods to my customer, to my buyer on periodical basis, you can say monthly basis, I declare my sale to GST department through GST portal, or I declare my sale at GST portal through GSTR 1 statement. This GSTR 1 statement is nothing but a monthly return for any business house. So Section 37 of CGST Act talks about furnishing details of outward supplies. Furnishing details of outward supplies. So what this section says? In Section 37, subsection 1, whenever we are reading any law, it has set format to study, to read it. There is set procedure to read it. So that's why I am discussing this slide or this topic of returns under GST as per the actual provisions made in CGST Act Section 37, subsection 1. So this section says every registered person means who has obtained registration under GST. So every registered person other than an input tax service distributor, I talk to you about this input service distributor. Input service distributor, a non-resident taxable person, means the person who is not in India is a non-resident taxable person who is supplying goods or services from outside India, and a person paying tax under the provisions of Section 10, means a composite dealer, or Section 51, that is TDS provisions applicable on persons, or Section 52, that is TCS provisions applicable on persons. So the meaning of this section is that every registered person other than, means it does not include input service distributor, it does not include non-resident taxable person, it does not include person paying tax under Section 10, that is composite dealer, it does not include person paying tax under TDS, it does not include person paying tax under TCS. So other person means normal businessman who is selling its goods, who actually manufacturing or trading its goods, that person is covered under Section 37, subsection 1. So that person shall furnish electronically means through GST portal, electronically, subject to such conditions and restrictions. There may be some conditions, there may be some restrictions there, we will see that, in such form and manner as may be prescribed. Okay. The details of outward supplies. So details of outward supplies means whatever goods or services you have sold. Goods you have sold, services you have provided. Goods or services or both. It can happen that in particular transaction you have supplied both, you have sent goods as well as you have sent or provide services also. Affected during a tax period. Affected during a tax period on or before 10th of the next month. So during particular tax period means during that particular month. So I will read it again for your convenience. Every registered person other than these person shall furnish electronically, subject to such conditions and restriction and in such form and manner as may be prescribed, the details of outward supplies of goods or services or both affected during that particular month on or before 10th of next month. So if you are in the month of July, whatever quantity of goods or services you have provided to your buyers or your customers from 1st July to 31st July, that shall be furnished electronically as per the format made available to you before 10th of next month, means before 10th of August. Now this 10th of August date has been changed now, it is 11th of August now. So amendment is there, so it is 11th of month, next month. Within such time and in such manner as may be prescribed, be communicated to the recipient of said supplier. Recipient of the said supply. So means when you file your this return, section 37 subsection 1 return, when you file before 11th of next month, it will be electronically uploaded by you to GST portal, and when you will submit this return, to GST portal, the detail of goods and services along with invoice number, invoice date, quantity, rate of tax, amount and etc. will be communicated through GST portal to the recipient also. So once you submit the return on 11th of next month, the information will transmit it to recipient also, to your buyer also through this GST portal. So GST portal is nothing but a platform for both buyer and seller, where sale of goods or sale of services information is exchanged. When supplier has submitted this GST or one first return of the month, automatically this data will be transmitted to respective buyers. So this way we share our information with GST portal. First we will declare our sale. Once you have declared your sale, your tax liability will be fixed. Because if in month of July you have sold goods worth rupees 10 lakh rupees and your goods are subject to GST at the rate of 5%, then accordingly your tax will be calculated and you have declared to the government that this much of liability is of mine and I will pay because this is my sale. So GSTR 1 is the first return under section 37 subsection 1. A person who is doing business, maybe as a manufacturer, maybe as a trader, declare his sale as well as his output liability to the government. So friends, this way you can read GST law slowly and definitely you will get everything cleared. So here if we say subsection 2 of subsection 2 of section 37. So this section has been deleted. Here star marks are there, section is deleted. And when it was deleted, you will get in any your law book, it will be mentioned like this in notebook as a note. Here note is given that this section means section 2, subsection 2 of section 37 is deleted by notification number 18/2022 with effect from 1st October 2022. So this section is omitted here, this provision is omitted anyway. Then subsection 3 of CGST Act, what it says? It says any registered person, means a person who is registered under GST, who has furnished the details under subsection 1, means above this subsection 1, and this is subsection 3. So it says any registered person who has furnished details under subsection 1 above, means outward supply, means his sale, for any tax period, that is for that particular month, shall upon discovery of any error or omission therein, rectify such error or omission in such form, manner as may be prescribed, and shall pay tax and interest if any, in case there is a shortage of payment of tax on account of such error or omission in return to be furnished for such tax period. So means here law also permits you, if you have committed any mistake in filing above statement in section 1, subsection 1, that error can also be rectified. That error can be rectified under the law. So this way each and every provision is there in the section, in respective sections of CGST Act. And if we go further, there are some conditions to this section, and we read that conditions also, and next comes subsection 4 of section 31. And subsection 4, what it says? It says a registered person shall not be allowed to furnish detail of outward supplies under subsection 1 of tax period. So means section 31 subsection 1 asks me to furnish details of my outward supply, my sale, but section 4, subsection 4 of section 31 says person shall not be allowed to furnish details of outward supply. Why? If the details of outward supply for any previous tax period has not been furnished. It means what? It means this section says under section 1 of section 37, a person will not be allowed to file his outward supply statement, that is GSTR 1, if he has not filed GSTR 1 of previous month. He has not filed GSTR 1 of previous month. So if we are filing GSTR 1 for July, we have to make it sure that we have filed GSTR 1 of June also. If June's GSTR 1 is not filed, system will not allow you to file GSTR 1 of July. So it means you have to file GSTR 1, you have to declare your outward turnovers, outward supplies on regular basis, monthly basis for each and every month. In case in any month there is no sale from your side, then you have to file nil return, declaring that your sales are nil this month, so there is no tax liability. So means continuous basis you have to file your returns. If you make any gap in that, then system will not allow you to file next month unless you have filed previous months. Moving further, friends, subsection 5. A registered person shall not be allowed to furnish details of outward supplies under subsection 1 for tax period after expiry of a period of 3 years from the due date of furnishing the said details. What does it mean? This is the newly inserted section, subsection 5 to section 37. It says a registered person means person who is liable to or who is supposed to file GSTR 1, that is his outward supply statement, shall not be allowed to furnish details of outward supplies under subsection 1 of section 37 for a period after expiry of 3 years. So means if we are filing return of July 2024, right? So due date of filing this return is 11th of August of 2024. And suppose I don't file July 2024 return and stop filing further returns also. So I have a period of maximum 3 years from 11th of August 2024. So up to 10th of August 2027, I need to file all returns with late fee and all. Otherwise, system will not allow me to file my returns ever. So this is another provision under law for as far as GSTR 1, that is your outward supply statement is concerned. Friends, moving further, now next section comes section 38. We will talk about this section later on. So these are basically 5 basic provisions under section 37. Under section 37, furnishing of outward supplies. So it's very simple language. Law is drafted and you can go through the language, you can go through the conditions, and accordingly you can study the law very carefully and you will be able to understand the provisions. So to this condition that every registered person should file GST 1 every month, here there is a condition further mentioned for this section, and it says provided that Commissioner may, for reasons to be recorded in writing, by notification, extended the time limit of furnishing such details of such class of taxable person. Means if there is a genuine reason, sometimes it happens that some natural calamity comes into picture or some political disturbance come into picture, so system is not working properly or people are not in a position to file their returns. So Commissioner has powers to extend the date of filing these details to GST portal. So as I told you that the date of filing the details of filing of outward supply for particular month is 11th of next month. So 11th of next month, if it is not possible for the business houses due to some strikes and all, then Commissioner may extend this date for further period. So this way you just read law carefully. I will try to make it more simple further by my presentations. So this is section 37, which is important section for filing or declaring your sale to GST authorities through GST portal. So friends, in this presentation, question is who should file monthly returns? That is GST 1. So we have seen section 37, subsection 1. And this slide is derived from that particular section only, and it says a registered person other than input service distributor, it was mentioned there in 37, person under composition scheme, that is section 10, non-resident taxable person who is supplying goods from outside India, and the person paying TDS under section 51 and section 52 TCS shall furnish monthly return by 11th of next month. Because 11th I use because now date is 11th, date has changed in the notification. So a registered person, normal, who is a businessman or manufacturer, should file their monthly returns GST 1 declaring his outward supply. Next, can date of filing outward supply or GST 1 be extended? Yes, I showed you in my last session or last slide where Commissioner has power that he can extend the date of filing this return from 11th to some other date as he thinks so, because if he received any representation from industry or trade that due to some or other reasons they were not in a position to file their returns, Commissioner can extend that date. So friends, there was a provision in the section 37 that yes, we can amend the detail furnished under GST 1, and if later on if we find any mistake, any omission, we can rectify that. So that provision is there and we can rectify, and this rectification of GST 1 can be made up to 30th November of the next financial year. So if we are in July 2024, so financial year is 24-25 is there. So from 1st April 2024 to 31st March 2025, in 12 months, if there is any mistake in any monthly return, it can be rectified by 30th November of next year, means by 30th November of 2025, we can rectify 12 returns we filed during 24-25 financial year. That provision is also there in GST law. Friends, if there is any rectification required under GST 1, means whatever sale you have declared to the GST portal through GST 1, that is monthly return, later on if any rectification is done and in that rectification it is happened that your tax liability has increased. So if tax liability has increased, then definitely the additional amount of tax has to be paid along with the interest. Interest will be applicable on this rectification and you have to pay interest at the rate of 18%. So friends, when we talk about filing of GSTR 1, what does it mean? So friends, it is a set format. As I told you earlier also that in GST, there are prescribed formats in prescribed designing having details to be furnished, proper formats are there, and in GST 1 also, it's a proper format asking for number of details about your business, about your outward supplies, about your customers to whom you have sold your goods or provide services, along with export of services or export of goods. So here I have mentioned the main points of GST 1 and we will discuss GST 1 in detail when we will discuss about GST portal, how the GST 1 return is filed there. So in GST 1, as it is mentioned that it is outward supply statement, it's a statement for my sale. So it must be containing information about my sale, whatever I have made during particular month. So outward supply in GST 1, when I am filing this form on GST portal, it is asking me inter and intra-state sales made to registered and unregistered person. Means when I am selling my goods as a businessman, if I have received orders from party within the state, I will sell my product to them as intra-state sale and I will charge CGST and SGST. And if I received any order from outside my state, then definitely I will send my goods, I will supply goods with IGST, interstate sale. So GSTR 1 asks me if you have intrastate sale, then give detail of intrastate sale to whom you have supplied the goods, and it has to be GST number wise, it has to be invoice wise. So if in intrastate sale in a particular month, let's say July, if in a particular month I have 100 invoices, if I have 100 invoices for intrastate sale where I have charged CGST and SGST, then I have to give all these 100 invoices detail on GST portal under GSTR 1 form. So there is a set mechanism because manually it may be difficult for any person to upload one by one all such invoices. So nowadays softwares are available, accounting softwares are available where we can upload all this data to GST portal very easily through the tool or through software. And similarly, if I have interstate sales where I have 500 invoices, so in all these invoices I have charged IGST to different consumers, and consumer can be repeated also. Maybe there are consumer where to whom I have raised 10 or 20 invoices in a month because he is my regular consumer, regular buyer. So again, invoice wise, one by one, I have to upload the data through GSTR 1 in a particular column to the government. So again, we can use softwares, accounting software, whichever we are using, and through these software tools, we are in position to upload all my invoices to GST portal in the given requirement. So first point here is asking for inter and intra-state sales made to registered or unregistered person. So means if I am selling goods to registered as well as unregistered person, means B2B transaction and B2C transaction. In both the cases, I have to fill data, I have to upload data separately. For interstate sales, I have to file data for registered person separately, unregistered person separately. Same is within the state, intrastate. For registered person separately, unregistered person separately. In unregistered person also, there is further bifurcation. If my supply is to a particular single person is more than 2.5 lakhs, I have to give data accordingly. There is a set procedure there. And if I am having small vendor suppliers, small consumers, then I can have a consolidated figure also. So when we'll deal with this on GST portal, you will get clarity how data is filled, and if you are using good software, it will do automatically. So that is your first point, how our sale has to be uploaded in GST 1 and further to GST portal. Then debit and credit notes. Friends, we all know if there is any amendment in bill, if you have sent some invoice to your consumer and later on there is any change in that particular bill, either tax is increased or tax is reduced. If invoice of a bill, if invoice value has gone up, you raise debit note, and if invoice value has come down because of the change, then you issue credit note. So if there is any debit or credit note during that particular month, the same way, the way we raise invoices, we upload invoices, we have to upload debit note and credit notes also, because these debit and credit notes will further amend, rectify my tax liability. If I have raised more debit notes, my tax will increase, my sale will increase also. And if I raise credit notes, my tax liability come down and my sale also get reduced. So debit notes and credit notes nothing but a part and parcel of your invoices. They are part and parcel of invoices. Debit note increase the value of invoice and credit note decrease the value of invoice. Then zero rated supplies. In GST we have different kind of supplies: taxable supplies, exempt supplies, non-GST supplies. Similarly, we have zero rated supply. Zero rated supply is nothing but a export of goods or export of services. So if we are an exporter also, we are exporting our goods. So GSTR 1 asking zero rated supply separately. So there is a column given there in GSTR 1. We have to fill that particular column for zero rated supplies. We cannot mix it up. So we have to take care of that, how data should be uploaded there. But if you have a software, definitely this software will take care and data will be uploaded on GST portal accordingly. Then deemed export. Sometimes there are some transactions, as I told you, the business transactions are very complex nowadays. So if zero rated supply is there, there is another supply that is deemed export. So deemed export means what? Means I am manufacturer, I am selling some goods to a particular party and he is basically a merchant exporter. They are buying goods from local market and exporting. So if that is the case, then it means indirectly I have exported my goods. Not directly, but through merchant exporter. So that is also a category under GST and it is known as deemed export. So it has set procedure again under, if your sale is deemed export, then certain formalities or certain compliances are required and you have to do accordingly. Then exempted supplies. I told you there is one category of goods which are exempted from GST. So if your goods are exempted or you are selling exempted good also, you are selling taxable goods, you are selling or exporting goods, and you are also selling exempted supply. So means you have third category or fourth category of your goods. So if exempted goods are there, then you have to furnish or you have to declare sale of these goods separately in given column under GSTR 1 of GST returns. So GSTR return means we are talking about GSTR 1, which is outward supply. This is the first return that businessman or business house declare its sale, declare its outward liability, declare its GST liability to government through GST portal by filing GST 1 return. The non-GST supplies. This is another category of goods. If you are dealing in these type of goods also, then you have to declare these goods also in your GST return. That this much of sale or this much of goods I have sold under the category of non-GST supply. So we have to be very careful about all these category of supplies, and if your manufacturer or your trader is dealing in single goods and these goods fall in the first category, then there is no issue. It is very simple and simply you file your return. But if you have 2-3 types of goods, then accordingly you have to segregate your turnover into that category, and accordingly data will be compiled and will be filed to GST portal. Debit and credit notes can be anywhere, even in exempted supply also, though it is not affecting your tax liability, but it can increase or decrease your turnover. It can increase or decrease your invoice value. So accordingly, debit or credit notes are to be treated or considered in exempted sale also. Then friends, HSN-wise summary of outward supply. This is something very technical and to be understood. See friends, whenever we are manufacturing goods or supplying goods or services, and we are doing business world over. So in a country like India, we might be describing a particular goods with particular name, but same product or same goods must be having, though qualities are same, technicalities are same, specifications are same, but might be having different name in New Zealand. So exporter from India and importer in New Zealand may be having business, but they don't understand the product name in India or product name in New Zealand. So to facilitate the trade world over, every product across globe has been codified. So this code is known as HSN, Harmonized System Numbering. A code is given to each and every product. So this is HSN number. And in case of services, SAC code, Service Account Code is given. In India, telephone services may be known as telephone services. But in South Africa, it may be called by different names. In India, auditor may be a financial auditor or cost auditor, but in South Africa, it may be known by some other name. But their SAC code world over will be the same. So when you are filing GSTR 1, means your outward supply, and whatever goods you are manufacturing or trading, they must be having some HSN code. And it is available on internet or on our finance ministry website or on custom website or on GST council site. Everywhere it is available. So all goods you are manufacturing or dealing having some code, HSN code, harmonized system of nomenclature, that is known as, and this code has to be assigned to your product also in your invoices, meaning thereby whenever you are raising your invoice, whenever you are selling your goods, in your invoice, in your bill, you have to mention its HSN code. It is mandatory now. Under GST, it is mandatory, and in custom also it is mandatory. So in invoice, if you have not mentioned HSN code, then your invoice will be invalid and your buyer can be denied with your ITC. Similarly, if your input invoices are not carrying HSN code or SAC code, you can be denied with ITC. You will not be in a position to avail benefit of ITC. So it is mandatory to mention HSN code in your invoice. So friends, GST, when you are filing your GSTR 1, there is one column in GSTR 1 where you have to give a summary of your outward supply HSN code wise. Means how many HSN code you have used and how much sale you have done in a particular HSN code. So that summary is required, and it is to be done sometime manually or sometime your software take care of that, and it generate the summary and upload on GST portal. So HSN code wise summary is must, and HSN code wise invoicing is must. Similarly, friends, in GST Year 1, there is one column asking invoice numbers, means from this number to this number we have raised invoices during July. So on 1st July, if your first invoice was 005 and 31st July your invoice number was 95, so you have to mention from 05 to 95 invoices have been raised during July. So it is counting your number of bills you have generated during the month of July. To avoid any mistake, to avoid any sort of fraud during business transactions, you cannot delete any invoice from your record then, even from your software. Similarly, friends, when you are issuing debit note, credit notes, you have to give number to debit notes and credit notes. These debit notes and credit notes should be serially numbered. So during July, when you are issuing debit notes or you are issuing credit notes, you have to give them number, and these numbers must be declared in your GST Year 1 in an appropriate place, so that later on you cannot delete any debit note or credit note. And if you have cancelled any invoice during the month, you have to declare that also. So from 05 to 95 serial numbers, if you have cancelled your invoice number 60, you have to declare that. So accordingly, your return should come, your sale return should come, and sale return should be, and your turnover should be reduced by that amount, and your tax liability will also reduce accordingly. So everything is linked with each other. Similarly, if you have cancelled your debit notes or credit notes, your impact of debit note, which has increased your turnover, and credit note, which has reduced your turnover, will be depicted, will be considered in your total turnover, so that there should not be any ambiguity in the record maintenance, total transparency and accurate calculation of tax liability for that particular tax period, means July, for the particular month for which we are filing our GST Year 1. So in nutshell, GST Year 1 is my statement wherein I am declaring my sales, declaring my tax liability, declaring if it is intrastate, declaring if it is interstate, declaring if it is to registered person, declaring if it is to unregistered person, declaring if it is more than 2.5 lakhs, if less than 2.5 lakhs, if it is exported sale, if it is deemed export, if it is non-GST supply, and apart from that, also declaring my HSN codes of the products I am selling and SCC code services I am providing to my customers, along with serial number of invoices raised, debit note raised, credit note issued, and cancelled if any for that particular month. So this way, its total summary is given in GST Year 1, and we have declared it to GST portal and to the government and to the concerned authorities. And tomorrow, if anything went wrong, then this will be referred, and if you have, and the department has proved that you have manipulated the things, you have tempered the record, you will be in trouble.